Okay, waiting for this to pop up so I can pause it and we'll get started. There it is. Okay. All right. So welcome everybody to our special training on how to build an e-course in your Actionera 8.0 app using the new Actionera content portal. Woohoo! I'm very, very excited to do this call with everybody today because this is such a significant part of the technology that we built and the opportunity for all of you to impact people's lives and to monetize your message. Keeping in mind, I've said this before, that the e-learning industry right now is $1 billion a day industry. That's how much money is being spent online now for people to sign up for basically e-courses. And in comparison, look at virtual events and webinars and the amount of money they make. That's $1.5 billion a year. That's a year. So this is one of the biggest markets or biggest ways for you to make money with your message. And that's why it's such a significant piece of our software. And, as you all know, Iman, this is his signature program, teaching people how to create courses. And we're very excited about this all coming out and being available to everybody. As starting to happen is, as early as next week, we'll start seeing apps launch. So this training is going to walk you through how to. Here's what we're going to do. I got 2 hours here. We'll take a 10-minute break in between, but I got 2 hours here, and the main focus of the 2 hours is for me to show you the eCourse module and how you build multi-module, multi-lesson courses, and to demonstrate. This is a full-on demo of how to do that in the Actionera content portal and what that looks like in an app. So I'll be able to switch back and forth between this. I'll spotlight myself here just in case you guys are watching. I'll switch back and forth to be able to show it to you very quickly what it looks like when we're building it. So we're actually going to build a course. I mean, not a full course, but I'm going to go through and do the whole process for you guys. And that is one way of delivering a real high quality course inside your app, is using the eCourse module. There are other ways of actually delivering courses, like, for example, what we're doing with the 50 PLR courses. It's not using the eCourse module because the 50 PLR courses are not that sophisticated enough in content to use that. So we build and we release or deliver those simple courses a different way. And my goal is to actually show you how to do that too. So that's what we're going to focus in on today. If you have other questions outside of courses, save them. Don't ask them during this call, because that is for the afternoon session. That's for our later on today during our support call. I really want to stay focused on course building, course selling, and that sort of thing. So please just keep in mind that we really want to keep everybody focused on. We want to keep the whole process focused on that so we can get all of this done. Okay. So there are, most of you that are on this call right now are Actionera Premium Plus app owners, which means you have your own branded app. And there are going to be probably a couple that are on this call and a lot that are going to be watching the recording of this call that are now new Actionera Lite app content creators. And what I'm going to show you applies to everybody. Okay. It's just that where people experience it is going to be different. They're either going to experience it in your branded app, or they're going to experience it in the Actionera app when your Actionera app turns into your app as a light app creator. Okay. So there's nothing here that really is not going to apply to light app owners, because you get the course module as part of the promotion that we did. And And if you're watching this much later than March 3rd, we were recording this on March 3rd, and that wasn't the course module wasn't a part of your package, then you can easily add that to your package, your light app package very, very easily. So yeah, so that's what we're going to focus in on today. Okay. And so please, as I go through here and start opening it up for questions, please ask me questions relevant to the topic of the day or of this training. Cool. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's just get started. I think that there's something else, but I don't have anything else. So I'm going to share my screen. This is where I'm going to spend a lot of time. And, and of course, I will stop sharing the screen and show you the results in the app. When you, as a light or premium plus branded app owner, you all get your own account in the Actionera content portal, which is what we're looking at here. Okay. The area in which we're going to be focusing is under this column here, or this tab menu option called courses. And this is where we're going to be spending a lot of our time. And then when we build out the simple courses, I'll show you where you do that. So when it comes to creating the content within a course, it all happens under here. Now, there is a process that you're going to have to go through initially to create your first course. And one of the first steps that you need to take is you need to create a course category that course that you're going to be building falls under. So I've already pre-done that. I've got the personal growth / mindset category and the business and success category here. But if you wanted to create a category, then all you'd have to do is click on the button up here. It says create category. You put in the name, you put in the subline, which is, I could say something like, live your list would be the category name. The subline would be like a tagline, bucket list living or something like that. So that's what the subline is, or the tagline is. And then this is an image that goes with that, which I'll show you what that looks like. And then the order in which you would want it to show up on the screen of categories. And then the tag is if you only want certain groups of people seeing this category. So let's say, for example, I was to create courses for all of you as app owners, then I could create, a course category called Actionera app trainings, right? And then I give it the app owners tag. And so the only people that are going to see that category when it pops up on their phone is just going to be you guys, because you guys are the only ones that are going to have that tag. So you can create an entire library of courses that are only available to certain people based off of the tags that you give it and the access that you give to those people. That's what that area is there. Okay. So yeah, and just to show you what I mean by the tagline. So again, looking at the app here, when I go to courses, it goes to the course categories first, and we've got personal growth and mindset, and the tagline is courses and programs. I didn't get real fancy with the taglines there. That's where the tagline or subline in that page goes. The image that you upload is the actual icon here. That's where that image upload is. That's the icons to the left of it. And if you want, Becky, if you could put this in the chat, if you want a great resource for downloading icons, then the resource would be flaticon.com, flaticon.com. So that's what the course categories looks like. Okay. So that's step one. We got to get a category, at least a category created in order for people to be able to even access what possible courses that are in there. Then it's going to be time for you to create your first course. And this is where we start to build it out. Now, good news is I've got a worksheet that I will be providing after this call that looks like this. It is a worksheet that's based off of this special training on how to create an eCourse in your app. And this is using the eCourse module, where you can actually fill in all the things that are necessary so that you can kind of quickly go, well, what is my course module is going to be consist of? How many modules will I have? Up to, you could have more than 4, but we just limit it there. How many lessons go under the modules, and what are the titles? And then you get down here into the breakdown of the lessons, which we're going to get into in each of the pieces and the parts of it. So I'm going to give you guys this worksheet to play with to kind of help organize your course content. Okay. And there's more that's not much. There's probably about 15 minutes of more work that I got to do to finish out that worksheet to get it to all of you afterwards with the links to this recording here. Okay. So, so the worksheet is kind of, and this is typically what I do when I'm kind of creating a course, or I've created the course and I want to organize it into this system. I can break it down using that particular thing. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. Is this better? A little bit better? Okay. Yeah, it looks a little bit larger. Okay. So when you create a course, there are going to be different steps and stages that you're going to go through. And that's what I'm going to walk you through this. Now, these steps and stages are designed to be a particular way because we wanted to give you as a course creator complete and total flexibility on what your course content can be and how it flows and how it shows up on the screen and what can be in a lesson, and not limit you to, well, you can do a video lesson here, or you can do a text lesson here, and you're not able to combine content together. So this is very, very customizable. So now the very first step that you're going to do to create your course is you're going to click on the button that says Add Course. Okay. And this first form is going to be the information about the course that is going to be presented to people when they're considering to sign up for it. And also, once they're inside the course, if there's special instructions that you want to give them, or a video that you want to give them, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to break down each of this here so that you understand how this all works. Okay. So we're going to create a course right now, and I'm just going to use my my messaging, the habit of attraction, as a way of doing that. And I'm going to fill this all in here. So number one, this is a new feature that's never been offered before in our old course module, is that you have the option of having an email sent to you whenever someone unlocks a course, so that once a unlock code that enrolls person in your course inside your app is provided to someone, you will know if they're turning around and sharing it with 10 or 15 or 20 or 100 people, because if people register or enroll themselves in that particular course, you're going to get a notification each time. And if they haven't paid you, then you can go in there and turn them off. So it's a way of actually securing it, and, making sure people that aren't abusing and giving away your paid content to other people. So that's what this is. Send a notification whenever a course is unlocked. You can toggle that on or off. And this is the email that you can have it sent to. You could choose whatever email that you want there. Okay. Then we get into we start getting into the nitty gritty here. First off, what category is that going to fall under? And that's what we just talked about creating. So I'm just going to choose personal growth and mindset. And then we get down in here and we start filling it in. So the title is, in this case, Habit of Attraction. The creator is you, whoever's creating this course. So I'll put in Robert Evans. The creator image URL is like a photo of you, or it could be a logo or an icon or something like that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a picture of you, but it's an image. Now, I'll show you where that goes here in a minute, once I show you the actual phone. So you got two options for putting that image in. So I'm just going to upload it. So I'm going to click on upload. I'm going to find a picture of myself in my computer. There we are. This is my high school picture. And then now we get into the information about the course that's going to show up on the sales page. So this is the description of the course so that people can decide whether or not they want to buy it. Okay. So I'm going to go to a web page where I have some information so I can just copy and paste this instead of having to type it out. So habit of attraction. Here's what it is. The habit of attraction combines that. So I'm going to put that into the description there. And then I'm going to take my bullets. This is what you'll learn in this workshop or this course. And I'm going to put that in there. And if I want to clean that up a little bit and I want to put, let's say, asterisks next to this or a, little thing so it looks like a bullet, I can do that. Okay. But I'm not going to get into the details of that. Okay. So this is the description. This is what people are going to see to help them decide whether or not they want to register for this course. And then you get down here to what's the course going to cost. So obviously you could charge a fee for it. So I could say $97, or if I want to give the course away for free, it can say free, I'll say free registration. So they have to register, in other words, right? But let's just put in a price. So you can put whatever you want in there as the course cost. Now you get down to give them the details about that course so they understand what is included in this course. So if this is let's say it's a 3-module, 18 lessons, and then that's where I would put the actual details. Okay. Is the number of modules, number of lessons, and I put that in there. Okay. So that's basic information that I'm giving them about this course. However, let's say I have a video that I've recorded about habit of attraction. Do I have a video? I don't have a video here. And I could upload that video right here. I can either put a YouTube URL to it, or I could upload the video here, and that could be your sales video. If you don't have a video, then it is recommended that you have an image. And so I don't have a video, so I'm going to just use this image on this screen. And I'm just going to copy the link rather than upload it. And I'm going to put that image link in there. So instead of uploading, I'm putting the URL to it. Okay. Now we get down to course instructions. This is going to only show up inside of the course after they've registered and unlocked it. Okay. And you can give them text instructions. You can give them a video instruction, and you can put an image also with it. So like if I don't have a video instructions, I'm just probably going to take the same image URL. I'm going to put that on the same page as the instructions. Okay. So let me just put some text in here. This is where instructions on taking this course. Now, what does that mean? Instructions on taking this course. Maybe there's specific instructions you want to give them, like don't skip ahead and go to other modules. This course is designed for you to go in order. Start with module 1, start with lesson 1 of that module, go to lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, and the actual course technology will allow them to just hit the arrow to advance to the next screen, or they click complete that lesson, and will actually complete it. So if you have very specific instructions you want to give them, this is where you can give them those instructions. Otherwise, in that document that you guys are getting, I am going to provide you with default instructions that you can copy and paste in there that just basically says, this is how you take the course, and this is what to look for, and that sort of thing. So if you don't have specific instructions, then I would recommend you take that in default instructions in the document and copy and paste it into here. Okay. And then if I have a video, I could put that there, that sort of thing. So that you'll see where that shows up when we get to that part there, when I show you inside the app. Now, the last few things in here is now you got registration text. This is like the call to action. Registration text would be click here to register, or click here to enroll. This is just the text that of the button that they tap on that sends them to the web page for them to sign up for that particular course. So let's assume that this is the web page that they go to for habit of attraction to register for that course. I put that link in there. Okay. And then if I want this course to show up in a particular order in the list of courses that I have available. So if you do more than one course or multiple courses, then you can decide which order it shows up on the list of courses that they select. That's what the sort order is for. We're not going to really do anything with that today because we don't have a lot of course content. So I just leave it at the default, which is 0. And then the tags is if you want only specific people. So let's go back to this. So let me go here. If I go to business and success, I've got 2 courses in here. You guys see that? Shake your head. Yep. Okay, cool. So I've got overcoming obstacles and the personal branding blueprint. I want business and success to be available to everybody, but I want maybe only one of these courses to be available to the public and the other to be available to whoever has a specific tag. So let's say a monthly membership program, where in your monthly membership program, they get one of your courses, or it could be PLR courses, or it could be your own courses each month. Well, that's where the tag for that course comes in. So if I give this course, the personal branding blueprint, a tag, and I don't have that tag, then I'm not going to see it on this list. Okay. That's what that option is for there, is tag if you only want certain people to see this and register for it or gain access to the registration for it based off of the tag that they have. Okay. Now, the 2 other things I'm going to talk about here are these 2 little toggle switches, the drip system and active. Now, active basically turns on and now makes that course available for people to be able to register. So if I don't have it turned on, then they're not going to see it in the list of courses under personal growth and mindset. If I have it turned on, then it will appear. Okay. It'll appear to everybody. If there's no tag to everybody, if there is tags, it'll appear to the people that have that tag. Okay. That's what it means. We're activating that course, at least for people to be able to enroll in it. Now, the drip system is a little bit different. The drip system is if you want to release content, lessons, well, specifically lessons within modules in a interval of period of time. So let's say I have a 12 lesson course in one, or I could break it up into multiple modules. Doesn't matter how many modules it's under. Let's just say lessons overall. I have 12 lesson course, and I want to release a lesson once a week, then I will turn on the drip system. So for the training purpose, and this is not, a lot of people just give them all the course content and they take it, right? But if you want to really pace their learning inside of this course, then that's where you can control it, is the drip system. So let's turn that on and let's see that I've got everything. I want to receive a notification. I got the category. I got the title. I'm the creator. I put my picture in there. This is the sales copy, basically. This is the cost. This is the breakdown of what it includes. This is the image that goes with that course. I could put a video there if I want to. And then you got instructions, registration information, and whether or not there's tags, that sort of thing. Now, this is step number 1, is you got to create the basic information of the course, or submit the basic information. So let's do that. Hit submit, and it shows up on my list. There it is, habit of attraction. Now, once you create a course, it generates a randomized unlock code. This is the enrollment code that gives people access to the course. So this is what they would put into your app on the Track Now screen in order to unlock and enroll them in this particular course. Okay. But right now, all I've got is the shell of the course, the habit of attraction. I have no modules. So there's no modules here, and I have no lessons, active or inactive. So this is where we get to step 2. Well, before we go to step 2, who has questions about the creation of a course? And by the way, for those of you that just joined us, welcome. Good to have you guys here. Who has let's go with Suzanne.
Yeah, I have a few questions on what you've covered so far. So number one is you have a worksheet, very nice. Can we do a CSV import of this and just fill out a spreadsheet?
No,
No. Okay. Number two,
that's the quick answer.
course description. Can I put in HTML tags to do the formatting in the course
No.
description?
No.
No. Number three, taking course, okay, course instructions, you had text, video, or image. Is it either or can you have one or
It's
more
either
of those?
video or image
Okay,
with text. With text.
plus text.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anne Marie.
When you say creator and you uploaded your picture, does that word course creator appear somewhere? Because instead of having course creator, I would just like to show an image that represents the course.
Well, it does show up somewhere, but I don't remember where. So we'll find out here soon.
Because when it comes to the PLR courses, you don't want course creator.
You could put your business name. You can put your name for PLR. That you can say that, you know, this is offering. So like, for example, if we, with our 50 PLR courses that will be in the Actionera app, we're just saying Actionera is the course creator. Or if you don't want it to have any name, then just say NA, not available, right? So
okay. And the other question is, when the website's available, a person would be able to complete the course on their computer desktop?
That's correct. They can switch back and forth between the app and the website, and it'll remember where they left off at. Sorry, I didn't.
Okay,
have my
thank
thing
you.
on. You're welcome. Deborah, you have a question?
Yes, I do. So we could put our logo. I could put Virtual Works logo for the course creator.
Exactly, and that's what
Okay.
that's what we do. If you look at mine here, when I click on it, I don't have my picture here. I have our logo.
Okay, and I put two questions in the chat. I'll ask them here. Can we capture their email as a requirement for the course unlocking?
Yes, because in order for them to get the unlock code, they have to get that. They either have to register with their name and their email address, or they have to pay you.
Okay, and so that's a different capture process.
And remember, that's done outside of the app.
Yep, got it.
It looks like it's happening inside the app, but it's happening outside the app, so that we don't have to deal with the in-app purchasing system.
Okay, and then can you block them from moving ahead to the next module or lesson until earlier ones are completed?
Yes, and
Yes.
that is something I'll go over today.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, Denise.
Okay, earlier when you were mentioning your worksheet, you said the words limit to 4 modules, but I'm assuming you just meant your worksheet only has 4 modules on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no limit as far as modules and lessons and content inside of a course with our system. So you're good there. Okay. All right, Nicholas, question.
Great. Thank you, Robert. You made a statement about the people sharing your content with others.
Yes.
So is the unlock code unique to individuals, or?
No, it's unique to the course, only to the course. Yeah.
Okay. And so then what happens? You say we'll get the email notification, and that suggests to us that non-paying people.
Yeah. Some people are sharing it and non-paying people are accessing it. And then you could just literally go into your app, because in order for them to enroll in a course, they have to register for an account. And you could just email them and say, hey, I've noticed that you accessed a course that you didn't pay for. Would you like to pay for it and continue to take it? Or, you know, I'm going to have to turn it off for you. Right. Sure. And then you just unenroll them for the course, which you can do inside of your content portal.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yep. All right. I'll take Denise's question, then we'll move on to creating modules.
Okay. On that note of people deciding to spread the word like not legally, is there a checkbox somewhere that we can, when they're registering, that they have, quote, read the terms, which says you're not going to share it, that this is proprietary information they're paying for?
Yeah, you would do that on the registration page on your website.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, and you could also do that on the confirmation page after they've opted in or they paid for it. So you could do that however you want. And by the
Now,
way,
is this-
if someone
this-
just let you guys got to know this is really kind of pretty cool in the new Actionera technology, which didn't exist before, is if you ever come across a client that is abusing your app in some way, right? Or you don't want them in your app, or they're something is happening where you're like, I don't want this person in my world. You have the option of actually doing what's called an unlink. You can unlink that person from your app, and it's essentially like a blacklisting. They are now blocked from that particular phone from being able to register for an account and access and doing anything inside your app other than just looking at the free content. Okay. So, so that's something. If you come across someone that's like, that you don't want in there, then you can do that. Okay.
Is
One
that
quick-
blocking the IP address?
No, because it has nothing to do with IPs, because it's not web pages. It's just blocking them from registering inside your app,
Okay.
the software program.
So within that particular context, when they're registering, are they going, where are they registering at? Are they registering within my own personal, some landing page that I send them to
Yes.
register? Okay.
To officially register, but then when they enroll in the course inside the app, if they don't have an app account with you, then they'll create an app account so that they will have access to your course. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Awesome. Let's keep going. Good questions, everybody. Now, all right. Now that you created the shell of the course, which is exactly what we just did, what we now want to do is that we want to go back into that course and start to create the module shell. So remember that, that here's that kind of the structure of a course using our course, our technology here. So go back to the spreadsheet here. You've got modules, and then you've got lessons, number of lessons under the module. Okay. So let's say a module number 1 is, I call it in habit attraction. It's all in the energy. Okay. That's the module name. And what I've decided to do is I decided that I'm going to create 3 lessons in that. I'm creating I'm organizing, this is kind of like a mind map inside my head, what I want this course to be. Because if I did this process on paper first, the whole building of it, as I'm showing you here, will go so much faster. Okay. And so if I say module 1, which is right here, it's all in the energy. So I could take this and bring this down. And I want 3 lessons, then I could just simplify this and just put in the names of the 3 lessons. And lesson number 1 is, how energy flows in our lives, right? Something like that, right? And that lesson number 2 is how energy attracts or pushes away what we want. All right. But I'm gonna end up shortening these down so it's not as long, but I'm getting a general idea here. This is how I'm kind of figuring out how I'm building out my course. So let's just kind of based off of this, that first module, it's all in the energy, and then I'm going to have 3 lessons. Let's go in there and let's start to build that out. So back to the screen. So I go back to that course, I click on update, and I have all the same information in here, but now at the bottom, there's this new section that's been created for me to create my modules. Okay. So remember, I'm doing, what did I say I was doing? 3 modules, 18 lessons. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I want to create the first module. Click on add module, and I want to give that module a name. It's all in the energy. And then you want to give it, for it to visually look good, you want to give that an image. Okay. So I'm going to just to show you guys, if you're like, well, where do I get images? Let's use pixabay.com, because this is a commercial royalty-free website where you can get images, download them, and use them inside your app. Okay. So I want an image for my module. So I go to Pixabay and I say, okay, what I'm going to look, not energy. Okay. I do a search for energy and I'm like, okay, well, this is not the kind of energy I'm talking about here. And this is more of the energy that I'm talking about. Okay. Because this is the manifesting process. So I'm going to download this image. I don't need a high resolution image, literally because of the size of phones. If you want to download from Pixabay, just download the 640 by 427 and it'll be more than enough value there. Okay. So that's downloaded into my computer. Okay. Now I go back here and I downloaded that. So I want to upload it as my module image. And I'm just going to drag and drop that from my file folder here. And it uploads it. So the image is uploaded. Now the sort order is which module is this? Well, this is module number 1. So I give it sort order number 1. Okay. I hit submit, scroll down, and there's my first module. Okay. Now I add another module and the 3 foundational principles. Okay. And I find another image. So let's just go over here to this and I'm going to say, here, this is what I'm going to do. I just pull up an image here. No, that didn't work. Mountain. I'm just gonna grab an image. Okay. So I'm just going to pick this image, download it. And now I've got that. I go back over here, click on upload, drag and drop that image that I just downloaded into here. And I want that to be sort order number 2. Okay. Hit submit. And now I'm going to do a third module. Add module, energy tools. Actually, I was going to say HOA, energy tools, habit of attraction, energy tools. So again, I need an image. I'm just going to grab a random image. So do a search for tools. Whatever. I'm just going to grab this right here, download it. Go back here, click on upload and drag that over. This is sort order number 3. Okay, hit submit. Did I do that second one? Yeah, sort order 1, 2, and 3. So this is now going to be the order of the modules that shows up inside my app. Okay, now I've got that. I've got now the structure of creating the modules, and then I'm going to start building the lessons under those modules. So now let me show you what it looks like and I'm going to just show you in a different app that's already built. Let me spotlight myself here. So if I go into this particular course, Beautiful Authentic Self, and I've already built this, I've already enrolled in it. And when I click on start course, this is where those modules show up in the images that I've just downloaded. So I got the name of the module, I got the image that's above it. And then if I select on any area of that particular module, then it'll then go to the list of lessons that I'm about to build. Okay. So what I just did, all of that shows up here. Okay. We'll see the end product here once I actually enroll in this course that we're doing. So you can actually see what that looks like. All right. Anybody have any questions? If you do, just unmute and ask real quick, because I think that was pretty straightforward and quick, but go ahead. Denise?
Okay, so because I'm the tech guru amongst the vast majority of people here, my first thing I saw, which was really cool in your app thingy, like to make sure I know what the specs are for that, and your lesson images are square, is what it looks like. Is that correct?
No, the lesson images are more rectangle. Oh, yes, the lesson images are square, but it'll take a regular image. You don't have to square up the image. It'll just square it automatically for you.
Is it going to just give me the center of an image that I choose?
Crops it. Yes.
Yeah, but is it cropping it
Center.
to what's in the center?
Yes, center.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
I have a question. So about the image, does the image, when you create the web app, you said it will take the mobile app and make a web complement to it. Does it adjust the image sizes for web rather
Yes.
than, okay, so I don't have to worry about any of that.
Nope.
And then when you were just showing the mobile app, it just had the time and some stuff that looked like it was from your computer rather than, like, is there any way we could have on the pages that you're in the habit of attraction course? It just says modules and lessons.
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Inside the app?
I think she's
Yeah, when
asking
you
for
were
the
showing
titles. The titles of modules. It says modules and lessons.
Oh, no. You mean course modules and module lessons?
Like if you click on the first step to being authentic and you go there,
Which
there's
is
no
where I'm
i-
at.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no identification like that you're in the habit of attraction course. It just says course navigation.
Well, they know they're inside the course because in order to get in the course, they have to go to the course, click on it, and then they click start course at the bottom.
Okay.
So
All right. So it's generic.
since they click to get in that course, they should know which course they're in.
Okay.
Now, remember that, and again, we'll get to this. Remember right up here where it says instructions? That's where all the instructions go that we're going to put in there. So, and then you got the imagery and the name of the course is right there. So they know which course they're in because they come here first, and then they
Okay.
click start course.
Very good.
Okay. Now, okay, great. Let's keep going because I think the real questions are going to come as we start to build out the lessons here. Not the real questions, but the bigger questions are going to come. It'll start to mesh here. Okay, now that we've got these modules that are created, there's nothing I have to do to save them because they're automatically saved. I now want to go inside of a module and I want to start working on building out lessons. Okay, if I left this course, you'll see here that the habit of attraction now has 3 modules. It had 0 before, but I still have 0 lessons and 0 of those zeros are active, right? So now I want to create a lesson under a module. So I have to come in here and I've got to update this module. So I click on update and I've got the same information that I put in there, but now I've got this new section that's been put in where now I start to create the lessons. Okay. So here's the hierarchy, just so you guys know the hierarchy of a course. The course is made up of modules. It's then made up of lessons under the modules. And then inside of a lesson are the sections of the lessons. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to create the lesson, and then we're going to create the lesson sections, which is the content or the lesson content. Okay. So now let's add our first lesson to module number 1. So add course lesson. And I got to put in the information here. So this is module number 1. It's all in the energy. And I think I said, what did I say? The first one was going to be how energy flows in our life. So I put that in there. And then I expand upon this a little bit more. It's a short expansion. This is just basically shows up in the list of things so that they know, well, how energy flows in our life. In this lesson, we talk about how we are activating and experiencing energy every day that is part of our daily manifesting experience. Okay. It's short, very short description. Now this is the image that's going to show up as the thumbnail next to that image, that thing. So I want to go find it. Now, this is where I would actually use flat icon as a good site to use because they're square little icons. So if I went to flat icon where I can get access to millions of icons, I could do that, or I could still use Pixabay. And so we can show you 2 different examples of that, but let's just do flat icon. So let me just type in the word energy. And I've got all these different things that pop up. Now this is more like solar energy and that sort of thing. So let me do another one called manifesting. Okay. And then I've got some images that are coming up there. They're not that great, but let's just grab an image for the heck of it. Let's do, no, let's do this. I know, attract. All right, let's take this right here, this image. So I'm going to download this image. It's a free download, but you have to, inside of your app, you have to acknowledge where it came from. So what we've done is that we signed up so that we have commercial rights to the icons without having to do an attribution or attribute it to other people. We just became a member of Flat Icon for a year, and it's worth every penny. Okay. I don't know what the cost is, so you could just go there and find out, but it's worth every penny. So I've just downloaded that. And now this is going to be the image that goes with how energy flows in our lives. So I drag that over, and now I got the image. Now here's where, if I want to release this lesson on a specific day. So if you have a course that's starting on January 1st and it ends on February 1st, 30 days later, and you want this lesson to release on a specific day, then you could choose that date. But we're not doing that here. So because we're gonna do it. Remember, we talked about there being a drip sequence to this. So I'm just gonna leave it as is. Now the call to action text and the call to action URL is the button that shows up at the bottom of that lesson. And this could be used in so many different ways. One way would be, for example, to download work lesson. Hold on. Download lesson. Wow, got people jumping in here. Lesson, come on. Lesson 1 worksheet. Okay. So I can just say lesson 1 worksheet, and then I can link to a Dropbox folder, or a Google Drive folder. So, or my website where they can get the worksheets. And this is like a PDF that they can download, print, and use if you want them to do that. If you want to give them like a workbook or worksheets to use. So I'm just going to put in my liveyourlist.app, my website. That's what I put in there. Now the drip sequence, remember I said this is going to be a drip, is that the day in which they get to see, the day after they've signed up, in which they get to see this lesson. Now this is the very first lesson of of module number 1. So the drip sequence always has to be 0 for the very first lesson. Now, if this is lesson number 2, I could put whatever number that I want in there. And that's the number of days after their enrollment day that lesson will release. Okay. So I say drip sequence is 0. This is the first lesson inside of this module. And the tags, I'll talk about the tags here in a moment, not on this lesson and this next lesson I do. So I'm just going to leave no tags at all. And I'm going to say active. Okay. This right here is the basics or the shell of the lesson. We haven't even got to the content yet. We're about to do content. So anybody have any questions about this? Go ahead,
Okay.
Sherry.
I do have a question. Would you back up and talk about the tags again?
This right here?
Yes.
I'm going to talk
missed
about
it.
that then in the next one that I do.
Oh, you said leave it empty if
you want anybody that has signed up for this this course to see this lesson.
so I don't need to select the course tag again.
No, you'd never have to. The tags never, there is no such thing as a course tag. This is tags to either have access to the course or tags to have access to a lesson in a course.
Okay.
So
So
if you
I
want
misspoke.
everybody to have access to the lesson in this course, you leave it blank.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll
Thank you.
talk about it more in the next one that I create.
Gotcha.
Okay. Anybody else have a question? about the basics of this lesson setup? Anne Marie.
I may be jumping ahead. I know that I am going to want Nicholas's courses in my app. He doesn't know that yet, but on like leadership and things. And I know he'll be creating them. Do I have to recreate this, or is there a way when we're JV partnering that we could just somehow duplicate everything in our app?
You'll be able to do an export and an import from one Actionera app course to another Actionera app course. So that'll be a feature that'll be coming up. So if Nicholas has his course already built inside of his app, then he could actually export that out, and then you can import that into your app and you'll be good to go.
Fantastic.
Yep. Anybody else have a question? Well, I'm logging into something here real quick while I'm hearing questions.
Robert, I just want to say, I can't believe that we still learn more stuff on these calls. I mean, import, export, who knew? That's like fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay.
At what point will we know everything?
Yeah, it's a super good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to take on the task of teaching you everything. All right. Any other questions while I do this last little thing to start putting videos in there? Okay. There we go. Habit of attraction. There it is. That's what I want. Okay, cool. All right. Now we've got the basics of the lesson set up. Now what I want to do is I now want to start putting the content of, oh wait, you guys aren't seeing this. I want to start putting the content in this lesson. Okay. Now, the best way for me to explain, this is where our course technology is different and better than most of the other course technologies that are out there. I'm going to be bold and I'm going to say that. When it comes to the actual content of your lessons, it's incredibly customizable. Like, for example, if you're in Thinkific and you want to create a lesson, then they ask you, do you want a video lesson? Do you want a text lesson? Do you want an audio lesson? Do you want, a journal lesson? And you pick one of those, and then that's what the lesson consists of, right? We are allowing you to combine content into one lesson in whatever order that you want. Now, these are all the options for content that can go in a lesson. You can put in a headline. You can put in a section title, which I'll show you what that looks like. You can put in text. You can put in an image. You can put in a video. You can put in an audio. You can create up to a 5-question journal lesson, and you can do Q&As, question and answer. These are all of the types of content. Oh, and then you also have the call to action that's at the bottom of that lesson. But this is all the types of content that you can put into your lesson. And then you can decide which order you want this to show up in. So like, I want the headline to be at the top, and then I want a video to go next. And then I want 5 journal lessons to be next. And then I want 2 Q&As, for example. Okay. What you want to do, and this is the purpose of the worksheet, is to know, well, this is the options that I have. This is the order in which they can flow in each section, which you'll see in a second what I mean by that, so that you can then create the parts of your course, of your lesson content in the order that you wanted it. Okay, so let's do an example here. This is energy is all around us. Okay, that's the or excuse me, this is, no, that's wrong. That's the name of the lesson. And here's what I want in the order that I want it to show up on the screen. I want a headline to be first. And then I want an image to be second. And then I want a video to be next. And then I want some text to go under the, actually, see, I'm going in order here. So if these things right here, I just realized I need to actually put a new thing right in here to make this a little bit easier for you guys. But if this is part one of my section, or part one of my content, headline followed by an image followed by a video, and headline, image, and video are in that same order on this list, then I've got part one. But as you can see here, if I wanted text to follow video, text actually comes before image and video. So now I have to switch over to part two. And I say, well, part two of my section is text, followed by an image. Again, yeah, you guys are going to see here in a second. I know that this is probably very confusing. And then I'm going to finish it off with a journal lesson. Okay. So here's why we break it down this way, so that you have this level of customization here. Here we go. I'm going to go in here. Now I'm going to create the sections of my lesson. So I click on add section, and I have this little slide out menu that pops up here. And that list that I gave you, the order that it's in, it goes like this, goes here, here, and here. Now, the first thing I want to do is I need to give this section of my lesson a description. And I always do part one, part two, part three. So if you want to keep it really simple, just do the same thing. Part one, part two, part three, that sort of thing. And since it's part one, then that's a sort order number one. Now, I said that I wanted a headline followed by an image, followed by a video. Headline, image, and video, right? Now, if I wanted text to show up after my video, I have to put that in a different section, because if I click on text, it's actually going to be in this order: headline, text, image, and video. I don't want that. I want headline, image, video, and text. Everybody follow? If I turned it on now, then on my lesson, it would show up as headline, text, image, and video. That's not what I want. So I start off with headline, image, and video, and I put this information in here. So you are energy, and I'm going to put a picture, upload a picture for the image. And then I'm going to grab a video. Here it is. This is a video of me when I was super young. And then I'm not going to upload the video. I'm going to put the YouTube link in here. Okay. Format that so it works. And that's part one of my lesson. Headline, image, and video. I hit save. Okay. Everybody follow so far? Now remember, after the video, I wanted text. So I add a new section in, and then I say part two, and the order number two. This is the order that shows in. And then I want text to show up next. So I go over here. I'm just going to grab random text, and I put that text in there. Okay. Now let's say after my text, what else do I want? Well, let's say I want a journal. So if I click on journal and it follows the text, then I'm good. But let's say after the text, I wanted another headline. It doesn't follow the text. So I'd have to create a new section so that it follows the text. Okay. So let's just do that. So I say, I want a text, and then I want to, actually, let's do this. I want an actual title or a section title. So a section title is a little title that goes above the next piece of content that follows. So in this case, it would be a section title that goes above the section text. So I would say, let's see, what would I say? three principles. Okay, so that's the section title. So after my video, I got the section title, I've got the text, and then I hit save. And now I want to add one more section, part 3. Part 3, I want to headline, a journal, and a Q&A. This is a big lesson, by the way. This is typically, they're not that big, but I'm just giving you kind of an example. So this is the third item in my lesson. So the headline is going to be, now make it personal. And the journal, by the way, I don't have to fill in all 5 journal forms. I only want to do, let's say, 1 or 2 questions. This is where I put in a question. So that it'd be a journal question like, how positive is your mindset each day? Explain how you talk and feel, right? And then I put that little column. And then journal question number 2 would be, what areas of your life do you struggle in keeping your thoughts positive? Okay. So I have two journal questions. And then the Q&A is going to be a question and then an answer. Can this process work in attracting more money? Okay. So that's the question. And then I'm going to answer that. So I'm going to say, yes, it's perfect for that, blah, 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 blah. And I answer that. Okay. This is the third part. I hit save. And what I've got here is I've got the order in which it's going to show up is I'm going to have a headline, an image, a video, followed by a section title called 3 principles, and then text, followed by another headline. Oh, this is in there twice. Journal, 2 journal questions. I see an actual bug, and a Q&A. Okay. So that's my lesson. I just created that lesson. Now I want you guys to see this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to submit this lesson. And now I've got this lesson under module number 1. And now it shows under the list of habit of attraction, 3 modules, 1 lesson, 1 that's active. Now that I've got 1 lesson under 1 module, I can now go take a look at that course and see what it looks like. Okay. So let's look at that. And then we're gonna dissect this because I'm sure there's some questions that have come up here. So that the unlock code after I created that that course, shoot, where did it go? There it is. The unlock code is 791921. So 791921. And I hit track now. It's, oh, do you guys see that? Yeah, you do see that. Okay. It says it's been unlocked and I hit continue. It sends me over here, and that's the habit of attraction course that we created a little while ago. And and it says that I'm enrolled. When I click on it, I now get here to the info page. And then if I click on instructions, those are the instructions that we came up with. Remember? So the image, that's where the text is. That's where the headline is. And then when I click on start course, it takes me to that lesson we just built. Okay. Remember, I said the order in which I wanted to show up on the screen was headline, image, video. 3 principles is that section title, text, headline again, 2 journal questions, and then the Q&A. All right. That's exactly what we just built. Now, I know that seems complicated, but it's
Not
not
really.
once you really get to understand exactly how it works. And the reason why that's good is because now you have no limits at all on what you can build in the flow, in the order, and the experience that people have in a lesson in the way that you want it to do. And we did that on purpose because we wanted your course technology to be the best out there. Okay. So questions. Let's take questions now. Anne Marie.
Okay, 2 questions. This is a best practice question. I have 20 finger labyrinths that are each going to have a different theme. Is it better just to make it one module with all of the different lessons to it, or should I break it up? There's going to be 20.
I personally would break it up, because a long list of 20 lessons in under one module might be a bit overwhelming. And if I could figure out a way to it being like, well, this module is going to focus on health and wellness, and this is going to focus on mindset, and this is going to focus on this. If that so happens to work out the way for your own content, then people would prefer that level of organization. The whole point of having multi-modules and multi-lessons is organization and breaking it down.
Okay.
Right. And then, but you can also use modules, and you could have like module number 1 that's free to everybody. And then module number 2, 3, and 4, and all the lessons under 2, 3, and 4, they only get if they purchase the course. So module 1 could be free and it has 5 lessons in it to everybody. And then the remaining 15 lessons in the next 1 or 2 modules thereafter, they have to buy. So it's kind of like a trial version.
Okay. And the second thing is that anybody who takes the course, I will be able to track them, that I could send a push notification to say, hey, I'm going to have a pop-up meditation tonight with a finger labyrinth. Join me. Here's the Zoom link. Will I be able to do that?
Yes. The way it works is that when someone enrolls in the course and they've said yes to notifications, is that a tag is sent over to the push notification software that says they've enrolled in the habit of attraction, and it marks the day in which they've enrolled. So if you want to send out a series of 3 or 4 push notifications over a period of a week or 2 weeks or whatever, to remind them to take the next lesson, you'll be able to do that. If you have the correct account in OneSignal, you'll be able to do that. Or you can segment them out into a list of everybody taking a habit of attraction, so that you can send out a push notification saying, hey, I'm doing a meditation on Friday, who wants to join me, type thing.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, Dan, you have a question?
Yeah, 2 questions. First, is there any, what would be the limit to the number of repeats within a section? Say number of videos or
No
anything?
limit at all.
Okay. And then
Yeah, which is
second,
that's a great question. Let me just let me just expand upon that. So let's say you have a lesson in which you want them to watch 3 videos in that lesson, and each video has a journal that they journal or answer a question or 2 after. So you would do, and you could put a headline. So you can say headline, video, journal. That's section number 1. Create another section called video or headline, video, and journal, and just repeat that. And then when they go to that lesson, they scroll down and they got all 3 of those videos, those journals, all in one page.
okay, thank you. And then from a strategy perspective, what are your, and probably best practices, what are your thoughts on whether to load videos on YouTube or upload them to the app?
Well, it's either way. The decision ultimately ends up on, if it's on YouTube, even if it's unlisted, you have to deal with all the YouTube stuff that comes with YouTube. Like at the end of the video, it says these are the recommended videos, and they're not even really your videos. They're whatever is based off of the history of that person, right? And it's even though it's an unlisted video, if someone got the URL to that video, they could easily just go to it and share it with all their friends, and you wouldn't know any better. When you uploaded the video into the Actionera portal, it's totally private. and there's no way for them to download that video. There's no way for them to watch that video online. They can literally only watch it right there inside the app.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So are there seriously not any more questions, or was I actually fairly clear enough?
There's something in the chat about the journal questions.
All right. Let me look there.
It's like, who can see the journal and can the teacher see it?
Okay. Great question. So let me spotlight myself again here. When someone fills out a journal anywhere in the app, whether it's inside of a course, like if I go into this course and I answer this question, my first affirmation, or it's outside of the course, just, like the journal, this GIST journal here, anywhere. It doesn't matter where that, anytime a journal lesson is filled out, those journal entries are going to be stored privately inside of this person's phone. So I actually don't have any answers. So let's do that real quick. If you had a 20, that would be great. So hold on a second. That would be great. Put the answer there. And then awesome is answer number 2. And yes is answer number 3. So when I hit submit, the answers have been saved. That's saved under their private journal entries. And it gives a list. So if it's a journal submission or a journal inside of a course, then we'll have the name of that lesson. And then when they select it, it has the questions again, and then the answers that you gave. Okay. That is private. It's not stored in the cloud. We did that on purpose for privacy reasons, because there are probably going to be journal questions that people don't want to share. But let's say I wanted to share this with my coach. Well, in the top right corner of this screen is a button. When I click on it, it takes all the questions and all the answers. It throws it into an email where I can then put in my email address or my coach's email address, and then I can hit send. And it sends all those questions and those answers to that person, yourself, your coach, or whoever you want to do it to. Okay. So to answer that question is, they are private until that person chooses to share them with whoever that is. Okay, great. Any other questions about creating when 8.0 is live, can you upload MP4 file directly from your computer, or you can upload directly from your computer, or you can use a YouTube URL, either or a Vimeo URL. Okay. Denise.
Okay, so currently my courses are set up such that, I guess because I was a homeschool parent, the courses include the video of the course and the transcript PDF of the course and the audio, as well as spreadsheet. Okay, so my thought on this is you offer one button link for downloads, correct? For each lesson. So my theory is that I would be linking perhaps a folder.
Yes.
That they could download 3 or 4 things just from that one folder.
Yes. So because you cut out, because I know your internet's not awesome there. I think what you said was, I have a video, I have text, I have an audio and a journal, and then I have stuff that I want them to download, like a worksheet and an assessment or whatever, right? A few different documents. Well, if I was to create that lesson, then I would go in here and I would have the lesson title. The call to action would be to say, download resources here or documents here, right? Download documents. Then this link would be like a Google Drive folder. So they can open it up and they can actually read it right there on there, or they can send it to themselves and via email, and they can download it. But in the sections, I would have, headline, the video, the audio, and the journal. And it just so happens that's the order that it goes in. So I only need to create one section: headline, video, audio, journal, and I'm done, right? Unless I want text. Maybe it's headline, text, video, audio. And if that's the case, and that's the flow, then I've only needed to create one section, not multiple sections. And then going back to what Dan was asking, can I add, let's say, a headline, a video, and a journal, and then I want to do that same thing 2 more times because I want all 3 of those videos with journals to be in one lesson. Then I just create this as part 1, and then I create part 2, part 3, doing the same exact thing, and it's flowing in that particular order as long as I'm setting the order right here. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
You bet. All right, Suzanne, you have a question?
Oh, I guess I did. Well, right now, what we were talking about, I was just curious, can I have them download a zip file instead of a folder?
Yes, but zip files don't work. They're not really ideal for phones.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would put that zip file inside of a folder so they can then share that link with themselves on their computer, and they can download it on their computer.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind that when the website version comes out and they click on that call to action bar, it'll work just like a regular website. So it'll download that zip folder.
So if we have a suggestion, so as an example, when I have my images, I would prefer just to have that caption to the image that says the source, rather than buy a license or whatever that was. Is that something that we can add?
I'm not understanding. Buy a license.
Oh, like if you see images on the web, sometimes it'll say underneath, it's a caption.
Oh,
to-
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, can
So
we add that?
you want to give them
Acknowledge.
a
Yeah.
tribute. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you just know you can't just do that with any image, because I couldn't take, let's say, the Nike logo, put it into my course and say, hey, this is Nike logo. I just want to acknowledge you and receive money. I am violating their copyright at that point and their trademark. So the fact, now, if you're giving it away for free, that sometimes changes it. But if you're charging for that course and you're putting people's images in there, even if you give them credit, you are most likely violating their copyright, and that you could get in trouble. So that's why we use Pixabay, or that's why we use Unsplash, which is another one, unsplash.com, because they're
Okay.
commercially free. But if you want it, but let's say you did want to acknowledge that. So if I go into here, I would then go, well, I want an image. And then you would actually have to create another section to put text that says, or put the text above it that says photo, let's say photo by Robert Evans.
Right.
And then I could have that image that shows up in there. So you can put it above it.
So I see that a lot on LinkedIn. It's an image and then they just have at the bottom and
Yes,
small
but
print.
LinkedIn people aren't paying to access that content. Keep in mind.
True.
That's
Okay.
that's the biggie right there.
Thank you.
Yep. Now let's talk about something. Oh no, Richard, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just a minor detail about images. You have a cheat sheet for image sizes and aspect ratios that are best to work on the app and or on the web.
Not really. Because let's say you have a square image, then it's just going to basically go based off of the width, and it's going to square both ways. And if you have a rectangle image, it's going to just base off of the width, and then it's going to adjust it to its aspect ratio there. So you don't have to really edit the images down that much, because it will automatically do that. You just don't want to upload huge, massive images,
No,
30 megabyte images, because it just take longer for that lesson to open up.
I'm a graphic designer and web designer.
So
When you showed the web app, your logo went beyond the screen, and then the next screen it was on screen.
Oh, yeah, that's a different, when you're in the actual lesson itself. So let's go inside of that is this, you're talking about right here, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That is because this is a set width. So we'll get you the set width on that.
Okay.
But what I was talking about is inside of an actual lesson, it compresses it as the right way, or it changes
Okay.
the aspect ratio.
So inside the lesson, it's just going to be, you're going to have a bounding box that's going to keep it within the.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Outside here,
Up there.
we'll give you the sizing for that.
Yeah. Okay. That's the one I was worried about, because that's what I don't want to happen.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly. I agree.
Okay. Perfect.
All right. Now here's a situation that I get asked a lot about courses is, what if I want them to complete a module and then take a quiz or do an assessment before they get access to the next module? Right. And which is a great idea, so that you can actually see and track, what people are doing, how they're doing, whether or not they're getting and retaining the information and that sort of thing. So this is where you kind of start to work with the tags. So if under a lesson I have module number 1, and I have 3 or 4 or 5 lessons that are under module number 1, and I want them to complete this, take a quiz, and have that quiz test them. And if they pass, then they get access to the content of module number 2. Okay. That's where the tags come in. Okay. So the way it works is that at the end of the last lesson in the first module, let's say this is the last lesson here, the call to action would be take quiz to
Oh,
continue.
you can't see what you're showing.
You can't see what I'm showing? It says it's sharing. Let me try it. Oh, I'm
We
sorry.
can see it.
I'm sorry. All right. So I apologize. So I go in here and I open up this lesson, and then the last lesson of this particular module, I say, take quiz to continue. And then I link them to a quiz. All right. Now we're going to have a quiz module that's going to be built for our app in the future. But for right now, you can use an outside Survey Monkey or Zoho Forms or Zoho quizzes or whatever for free or for low cost. So you don't have to worry about it being built into the app, because it will still happen inside the app through the call to action. So I would link to that quiz. And then they answer the questions in that quiz. And at the end of that, if they answered those questions correctly, then I will give them access to module number 2. Let me, where are we at? Oh, I would give them access to module number 2 by giving them an unlock code that unlocks those lessons in module number 2. So this is where in those lessons under that module, I choose a specific tag that I've created. And so the only people that are going to see these lessons under this module are the ones that have this tag. And the only way that they get this tag is they complete that quiz, answer the questions correctly. Then I give them the unlock code, and then they get access to that course, to the rest of the lessons. Okay. So using the tags, this is what we were talking about earlier. It allows you to give them access to content based off of certain criteria. You have to complete this to get access to this. You have to do this quiz to get access to this. You have to have your coaching call with one of our coaches before you can go on to the next module, and your coach can to give them an unlock code after they have that coaching call and give them access to that next, the lessons under that next module. Okay. So the tags allow you to control when people can access that content, and you decide when they access it based off of whatever criteria that you set. Okay. Everybody follow? So, Suzanne, what's your question about that?
Yeah, so I'm out on SurveyMonkey. I pass. Do I have to have Zapier or something, however they pronounce that, to like send that score back? How do I determine to give them the tag?
Well, any survey software that you use out there, free or paid, they allow you to build out a survey that says, well, if they answer this question, maybe it's a test software. If they answer this question and it's answered correctly, then it'll give them this score. And at the end, if it's a score above 70%, then you show them this confirmation page, and on that confirmation page, they get that unlock code. Right. We'll find one to teach you how to do that, but those are they're a dime a dozen out there as far as that's concerned. Surveys, quizzes, forms, all that sort of thing. You don't need to use Zapier. You just got to find the right one that does that type of thing.
Thank you.
Yep. Thomas, good to have you here, Thomas.
Yeah, thanks, Robert. My question is about assessment. I understand the process of passing a module, getting answers to a quiz. Is there any provision for the students meeting any other criteria for advancement, such as posting in a forum or any other automated ways of tagging student performance, turning in their homework, for example?
Well, yes. So for example, if you want them to turn in homework, then you just create a simple submission page where they turn in that homework. And then at the confirmation page of that submission, you give them the next unlock code to access the next section. There are ways that you can do it, but I think what you're talking about is something that we have planned to build in to it. And that's kind of gamification, as they call it.
Okay.
So gamification is they have to watch the video from start to finish in each lesson and answer these journals in order to get these points to unlock the next section type thing. Right.
Gotcha.
That is definitely something that is in our future development and expansion of this software.
Okay, great. Thanks.
In the meantime, there are ways of doing that online that still happens inside the app. It's just you're connecting to a third-party service.
Understand. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Anybody else have any questions? So that is basically the structure of creating a course in the app. So here's the quick recap. You create the course, title, all the information. You decide whether or not you want it to be available to people immediately, or you want to be available to them based off of tags, and you give them those tags at certain times or based off of certain things that they do. Okay. So you create that course, that basic course information first. Then you decide how many modules is this course going to have and how many lessons will go under each one of those modules. You have to have at least one module and one lesson under that one module in order for a course to be active, in order for you to be able to see it or give it to someone else. Okay. Then once you've decided the modules, you create the modules, and then you start creating the lessons, and you come up with the basics of the lessons. What's the title? What's the short little description? What's the image that goes with this lesson? Is it going to be dripped out? So I don't think we talked about that before, but the way the drip system works is it's based off of a day clock, a 24-hour clock. The clock starts the day that they enroll in your course. And on that day, they get any content that you put in the drip code that has either 0 or 1. Okay. Then any other lessons that this is done under lessons only, not under modules. Any other lessons that you do, you can assign a drip number of days. So if lesson 1 is 0 and you want lesson 2 to be released 7 days later, then you put in 7. If lesson 3 you want to release 14 days after they start the course, then you put in lesson 3, 14. Okay. And this, the clock starts when they enroll, and then the day 24-hour, that time frame starts at that point. It'll automatically unlock at midnight on the day that they, I think it's midnight Pacific time. I believe that's where our servers are, Pacific time, that course is unlocked or that lesson is unlocked for them. And you can combine that with a push notification if you want to. Hey, a new lesson has just been unlocked. That type of thing. Okay. So that's the lesson. Now, a lesson can be customized to your heart's desire as long as the content that you're using is, you can have a headline, you can have a title section so you can break it down and organize it. You can have text, images, video, audio, journal lessons, Q&As, and call to actions in that lesson. The only thing that you can't have multiple of is call to actions. You'll have one call to action, but the rest of the content, you can put as much in that lesson under sections in the flow of the sections as you want. And then once you've done that, that lesson is done. Then you go on to the next lesson, and then you build it and deliver it. All right, Deborah, you have a question?
Yes, I'm trusting we're to the remedial learning part of this. So I have 2 fundamental questions. One is, when you were typing the content for the lessons and the modules and stuff, that looked like a form, like a Word form or something, where do we access that?
That worksheet? I'm going to send it to everybody. I'm going to be sending that to everybody today.
Okay. Is it in the app also?
No, it's just a Word document.
Okay. All right. And secondly, I know this is really basic, but is there a difference between tags and unlock codes?
No, every tag that you create generates an unlock code. So they're married together.
Every tag that you create generates an unlock code. Okay.
So in order for a tag to be added to a person's account, they have to put that unlock code into the app. So there's always, every tag has an unlock code. Every unlock code is married to a tag.
Okay. So like if someone completes a test though, and they pass, it gives them an unlock code that's different than a tag.
Yeah, a tag is
attached to it.
A tag is behind the scenes technology side of things.
Yeah.
The unlock code is the consumer side of things. They don't even need to know the word tag. They don't need to know the name of the tag. They don't need to know any of that. The unlock code does all of that for them.
Okay. So the public interface of all of this is the terminology. Here's your unlock code. We're never going to use tag. They never see the term tag.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. All right. Now we've got 20 minutes left. That's basically, that's essentially that's building a course. Now you can go in there and add more lessons, more modules, create sections however you want. I'll tell you that this will become easy. I know that's a thing to say. Deborah's all like, okay, whatever, Robert. Easy. And once you really get in there and start playing around with it. All right. So you can create a course. You can be the only one that accesses that course. You can throw in any dummy content that you want. You can kick the tires. As long as the course is created as one module and one lesson and they're active, then you can get in there and play around with this and see it inside of your app or inside of your light Actionera account. All right. Now there's another way of actually doing a course, and that is not using the course module, but using a creating a topic inside of your app. And then under that topic, you can create lessons that are exactly the same as a lesson inside of a course. There's no modules here. This is a 10 lesson course, 10 videos. And inside this lesson, I've got a video, I've got text, and I've got a journal, and that's it. So this is the way you deliver a simple course. So this is all like the 50 PLR courses that we have. They're all built this way. So when someone enrolls or they buy this particular course, if they buy it, let's see, I think I have under directories, business courses. There we go. So like here are 5 different courses here. If they buy it, then I can give them access to the course through a tag. And then they just come in here and they click on lessons and this is not in there. Shoot. I wish I could show you guys all 50 of the lessons, but that's not in an active app right now. Let's go here. It would be just like this, the 10K a month blueprint. There would be a link to the ebook. There would be a link to the special report. There won't be any articles, but then here are all the lessons. And then when you select on a lesson, you get the video content, the text, and the journal. That's a real basic course that's created. Okay. Now you're not using the course module at that point. What you're doing is that you're going in here and you're creating a topic. So these are all 50 of those PLR courses. So you create a topic like healthy habits, and then you create lessons. So if I click on lessons, I've got 535 lessons that make up those 50 PLR courses. So each lesson that I create, it works the same way as inside of the actual course, except that when you add a new section, it just looks a little bit different. It doesn't have that little toggle thing over there. You just put in all the available things are right here. So this is the same as doing a lesson inside of the course module, but it's an actual lesson under a topic. So right here, I'd say the topic is the 10K a month blueprint, so that shows up in my app under this list for the 10K a month blueprint. Now, we've got individual separate how-to videos on how to do all of that. So if you want to create a really, really simple course that's just like, there's no multi-modules, it's just 5 lessons or 10 lessons, that's the best way to deliver it. You don't need to use the other more robust eCourse technology. Okay. And everything that I just went over today is also broke down into individual how-to videos. So rather than having to come back to this video and go, where did Robert talk about the sections part of the lessons? You'll actually be able to go into the how-to videos and it'll say eCourse creation, sections in a lesson. And then you'll select that video and then you'll watch the 5 or 10 minutes of that explains how to do it. Okay. So we got you. We're holding your hand through this whole thing. And once you do that, it works pretty good. When will the desktop be available, Edward? That we don't have an exact date. We know that the programming team is starting to work on that in the next couple of weeks, and our hope is it'll be available in the next 2 or 3 months. Cool. You flow intuitive. Is what true? Is that true, Thomas? I built a long course. It looks very easy, intuitive use. Okay, cool. I like that. Need a flow of register, enroll, unlock, where to find lessons. Yep. We got all of that. That's going to be in the actual thing. Julie's asking, can we access your app portal today? Right. Okay. So I'll just give you this quick update. we're now in the process of moving everybody over to the new Actionera system. So if you don't have access to your old content portal right now, that means that we have exported your content and we are working on now importing it into the Actionera section. And the reason why we turn off access to that old portal is because if you added any content in there right now, it wouldn't show up in the import into your new app account. You'd have to redo that later on. So I'll talk more about that at the call later today. When will 8.0 access be up and running so that we can start adding things to our apps again? It depends on where you fall in the list of things. But if you really want to add, if you really need to add content to your existing app right now, that knowing that you'll have to re-input that same content from this day forward into your new portal account, because we're not going to export it a second time, then email me or email Becky, robert@actionera.com or Becky@actionera.com, and we'll turn your portal content access back on. Okay. All right. Any other questions so that we can wrap up this training on creating courses? Yes, Sherry has her hand up. Go ahead, Sherry.
Am I to understand that people who have their apps already launched are being imported right now, this very week?
No, their content has been exported and they're now being scheduled to be imported into the new app in the next, it depends on where you land in the queue. So
Okay.
it could be next week. It could be the following week. It depends.
Did you export everyone's content?
Everyone's content is exported out.
So, okay, I understood that we would get some notice to stop using the portal. So now
I did give that notice.
I thought it was going to be individual.
Yeah. Again,
So-
if you need to get back in there and add content that
No,
will be
that's
exported
okay.
again, that's fine. Yeah.
I just didn't know that it was already.
Yeah, we're
that.
moving.
So
We're trying to move it as fast as we can to get everybody moved over.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
So the app isn't affected. The app can still be used. We just can't add anything.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Unless you ask me for access again.
Okay.
Okay. So Julie, send me an email so that you can get, I can give you access to that again. And you can put in that link that you need to put in and control it from there. Okay. Deborah, you have a question?
Yeah, so for those of us who haven't launched yet, so we don't have any content, are you wanting us to wait till you get all of the existing people exported? No. Okay, in that case, who is okay, so we already have our stuff with Apple and that sort of thing. Who is the first person we should reach out to, or the first step we should take to get that ball rolling?
All right, hold on a second. I'm going to stop the recording so